I'm Dan Galusha. Welcome to another edition of Dan's Fishing Tales. Today we're fishing some pretty tough conditions, even though we're on a very small lake. This is Don Banning's favorite. Don's with us. He's down here and invited us to come along again. And we had a major cold front go through, and it's still warm enough though. It's about 80 degrees out, but the fishing. I don't care what size lake you're fishing, you can still run into very tough fishing, and that's what we're going to talk about. What would I do in this situation? Well, I started out hitting some of my regular good stuff that I've had around here. For one, right here, the swim bait. This is a green shad natural forage bait swim bait. The thing works great. Not today. Have not had a hit on it. Another thing I do. I pulled out my B&M 75 series rod and put the natural forage bait fat shad on here and finger jig. You can tell how windy. Whoa! Even the camera is getting knocked around, so bear with us. Huh? That shows you what's going on. Anyway, I've been finger jigging with that. Nothing. For me not to get anything on finger jigging, you know it's tough because we've been catching some. So, what did I do to get anything? Well, I've started off now. I've got one so far. And this video is starting just after I got that. And I'll show you. One tough bait that I use a lot in these conditions. And that's a rattle trap. And one of the colors that I have really had great luck with is this one right here. This is called an apricot. I know, it don't look much like an apricot, does it? It's got dark green. It's almost like a perch, but there's another one that is a perch color. Anyway, this apricot works pretty doggone good. And I will use different retrieves. I start off with a straight retrieve. Try to hit as many different spots as I can. Hit the place where the wind is blowing in, maybe stirring something up. Then I will cast out deeper water. I'll let it go down further. I'll give it a rip. And there's different ways to do that rip. You can either let it drop all the way and bring it straight up, and let it fall and bring it straight up, or you can take it and do it sideways, like this. Well, then it's not coming up as far. It's going more like this, where the other way it's going like this. Two different ways to do that. And with that, you can sometimes really hit what you're going to do. Now, the same thing with the blade. If I go with the Blitz blade, I'll fish that the same way. In fact, speaking of Blitz, if things really start getting tough, which it's already tough, I will go with the finesse jig that Blitz has and put a 4-inch natural forage bait finesse worm on it, which is called an R4. And that has kick and bass in it already, and I'm using some kick and bass stuff that is experimental right now. So we're going to be looking at that too, and maybe Don down here will get something. I'm not sure what he's using. I think he's using swim baits, but man, I'll tell you, this wind is picking up. They said it's going to get about 30 miles an hour. You may be hearing some wind noise, I don't know, but I apologize fully on that. I do have the windscreen on it, and we'll see what happens, but what do you say? I put this back out here and we try to do some fishing with it. I was just talking to you about the retrieves are going with a pump, like up and down. And the one thing you can do too is vary it. In other words, I'm talking about your pump. You let it go down, you just don't do it real fast like this, but you'll let it go down. You do several different speeds, each one of them. The sideways one I was talking about, and also the up and down. And you'll let it go all the way down, and then bring it up. And maybe about 3 foot. That's about all you do. Bring your rod tip up about 3 foot. And then do it different distances like that. And with it, there's also a quick jerk. You can bring it out quick. Just like that. And you vary those retrieves and then change it up with a side sweep, the up and down sweep. Just a straight pull. In fact, you can put them in between. You can go up and down, and then quick retrieve straight, and then maybe a side sweep, and just start varying them every way you can, because that's what can trigger fish. You know, I think what we're going to do is we're going to go down here and talk to Don. He's in the shallow creek arm that's down here. And we're going to talk to him and see what he has, if he's got any ideas on what he does when the fishing gets this tough, especially on this lake, because this is what I call his lake, not mine. This is one that I just come along when he says, you know, would you like to come with me? And then we take my vehicle, so it's full of all the goodie. Anyway, let's go down and talk to Don. Well, we're down here with Don now. He's making a few casts, and he knows how tough it is too. He's calling this his B&M day. He's got all B&M rods, by the way. Don, I've been telling the folks as to what I do in tough conditions like this cold front. We had Pash yesterday and everything, and I mean, we're tough. I've got one fish so far.
It's the hardest start I've had in a long time. Normally by now I've caught a few. I had caught one little one on that got off, was about 6 inches. I had another one that felt pretty good, but I'm trying different things. I've been skipping around and changing around. As Don mentioned, this is a B&M day. I'm using the Sam Super Sensitive rod by B&M. And I got 4 rods with me today, and they're all B&M rods, which I love. They're reasonably priced, and they cover a multitude of fishing applications too.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to need that today. I mean, in this sort of a condition, I tell them what I do with different things and how I go with it, and especially the rattle trap, because that's the one thing that I use a lot in a condition like this. And anything, if I'm doing a search bait, when in tournaments, I'd use a rattle trap for a search bait or a spinner bait or something like that I'd use. When it gets like this, how do you start it out?
Well, I start out using something, maybe what I call a little bit aggressive, something with a twister tail or maybe a blade. And then I'm doing more downsizing or finessing now. I'm using a custom jigs and spins, dragon jig hook setup. This is real nice.
And that's actually known for walleye mainly, isn't it?
It is, but it works great for bass. Mm-hmm. It has the 2 little nylon weed guards here. I'm using the 1/8 ounce size. And I've got a 4-inch natural forage worm on in, I guess it's pumpkin seed color. Natural forage has been good to me all along. But even on the toughest days, sometimes you search and search for something, and you just hope that you find the solution.
You're hoping that the finessing, in fact, I even talked to him about that. I said I use the Blitz finesse jig, and I'll put a natural forage bait, just where you're talking about, a natural forage bait, matching worm on it.
Right.
Sometimes I'll do a contrast, but mainly it's a matching one. Like I'm using a black and blue jig. I'm using maybe a June bug or a black and blue worm.
Well, I'm going what you might call dissimilar today. I got a pink jig head on. You know, when the conditions are tough, I'm game for about anything.
And you're going to go with pink.
Ooh, well, we're not going there now. I got to excuse myself for sitting down, folks. My legs get a little tired sometimes. I guess I call it advancing young age, facetiously. But anyway, you know, I'm making it easy. I can. I'm fishing at the shallow end of the pond where I've done really good in the past. I'm going to move down by the dam a little later on here because it's just, you know, not proving out like it was 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's what I told them, that you were fishing up here in the shallow end. I was fishing down there, and so we'd come down and talk to you, because this is the creek arm actually, where it runs in. And so, you know, we'll just have to see what happens. So hopefully, folks, some of us are, and one of us at least, is going to get some fish on for you to see.
All we can do is keep on trying.
No kidding. Well, Don, I made a cast in your spot. Sorry about that, but folks, I got one on.
He's jumping. It's a real acrobatic.
Yeah. In fact, I even got to get over the camera, so just hang on here.
He's hit right in the shore there, Dan.
Yeah, no kidding. The only action they're getting to see is you, Don. Sitting watching my fish.
Better than nothing. That's a fair size one.
That's a fair size one.
Good old rattle trap.
There we go, folks, right there. See, you got the rattle trap. I took Don's fish. Sorry about that.
That's the luck of the draw, as they say.
But it shows the rattle trap has been working. I think you can see that good there. It has been working even in these tough conditions, and I got it in there, so sorry about the mix-up. That was just one of them flukes when you got the camera and you make a cast and you get one. And I mean, I got this, by the way, this fish, there it is, that one again. This fish was way, way up in the shallows, as far back as I could cast. And like I said, not too bad of a bass.
I bet that wasn't over 1.5 foot of water there, Dan.
Couldn't have been. So, let's go back to fishing. I'm going to let Don have his spot here.
Well, it's not a bass, but it's a bluegill.
That's a good bluegill.
Yes, it is.
I'm using a gulp, a live cricket. The bobber said that's probably about 8-inch bluegill, and all of a sudden the bobber just dimpled, or they say, and went down. And so it wasn't a bass like you said, Dan, but it's a fish.
Well, it's one of those days that's so tough. You're going to go after some bluegills. You want to jerk on the line.
So there it is. And then I'll tell you, on light tackle, this is on the B&M sharpshooter rod. On light tackle, it made a really good paddle. So a scrappy paddle, I should say. I'm going to let him go.
Nice deal.
Thank you. Yeah, that put a good bend in the rod.
There we go. We got one on, by golly. Cast way, way down there. Looks like a pretty decent fish from all indications. Again on that rattle trap, and I got him up real, real close to shore. Still got him on here. Might be a bigger fish than I thought. I don't know. Or he thinks he is. No, we got one here. Pretty good. Yeah, here we go. That was sure a dandy landing, wasn't it? There we are. Right there. I don't know if you got to see any of that or not. I didn't have time to position anything. Anyway, got the fish. Again, that was that apricot rattle trap. And it looks like that's going to be the secret to this tough fishing that we're having. There we go, got another one. About the same area, right in, oh yeah. About the same size, in fact, that I just got. I mean, I got him way, way out there, as you can tell. Oh yeah. Might even be a little bit bigger. Yeah, watch out for those rattle traps. You end up with some hooks in your hand. Yeah, get him loose here. One of the sides, when they flip like that, a lot of times, you know, they get the hooks in them. There we go. Not too bad a fish. Well, like I said, I got that in the same spot. So maybe they are hanging around some of those windy areas. I'm making casts. I'm making some very, very long casts, as you can tell. And that's another thing, especially in these tough conditions. Make as long a cast as you can, especially with your crankbait. You won't spook the fish as much. And you have a longer distance to work it. You're searching for those fish, but I have found that longer casts in tough conditions sometimes can make the difference. A lot of things can. That's why I said just vary it. You gotta find what they're doing. There we go. I got him way over there on a shallow point on that leeward side. So, yeah, we got a good one here. Probably about the same size as the other one. He's a good one. Yeah, probably about the same size. There you go. Not a bad fish. As I always said, none of them are bad. They're all good. I don't care if they're 6 inches, they're good. Yeah, I mentioned that another reason I like using something like this rattle trap is, and this is the mini trap by the way, is in a condition like this where you have high wind, which normally is the thing that you'll get after a frontal passage like we had. There's up to 30-mile-an-hour winds today, and it makes it a lot easier to cast. That's, as you can tell, I mean, it's windy. It blew the camera over once, so you know, yeah, and we're on a rather uneven ground, as you may be able to tell. I don't know, but fishing's kind of slowed down here, and I just may move down towards that dam, see how Don's doing. No, I don't want to step on his fish because I might just move around and go clear over the other side, but I'm going to check on Pepper too. I haven't seen him for a bit, so and he's, unfortunately, Pepper is starting to become blind, and he doesn't hear real well. I have to whistle. He doesn't come to his name. He can't hear it. So anyway, but we still got old Pepper around and go shooting and go fishing with. So I'm gonna pick up and go down that way. Got one on that worm that I was telling you about that I might go to. And feels like pretty good fish, actually. Putting up a good account of himself, anyway. And on this B&M rod, it's he's got a lot of play to it, but it's a lot of fun. He's a decent fish. There we go. Yeah, that's a decent fish. Right there. Came right out of his mouth. I was using that B&M ringworm I was telling you about it. It's the electric blue with a pearl tail. I've had a tremendous success with that. And I was using that flu head that Don was telling you about. So not too bad of a fish on that. Wanted to see what it'd do. And by golly, I was fishing the same spot I've been fishing the rattle trap. Alright, got another one on a tube. Yeah, I think I got him in the sticks again. Yeah. I got more stick than I got fish. Nah, he's not really big. I'm down there wondering what I got. There he is. There he is. Well, that fish is probably tuckered out from all that stick bit. There he is. Nothing big, but another one on the tube and another one in the stick. So it's showing you they're holding. In fact, it seems like they're going more to that cover than they were earlier. But this is a much smaller one than what we've been getting today. But he definitely got hooked with that X point. I'll tell you, those X points. X point, X gap. That's what I use with the tube right there. And that's perfect. You can't really see that's got a big, deep bend to it. You can see that. That's what they call an X gap. It's got a big gap to it. And that's what I like using with the tube, because I Texas rig my tube. And we've talked about that before. We got a video on that, in fact, on how to Texas rig a tube the proper way. So we're not going to go into that right now. In fact, what we are going to do is we're going to go back out and do some more fishing. Another bluegill. Been kind of slow, haven't they, Don?
Yeah, this is a good one.
I see that.
Probably about 8 inches. It's the third one now today.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to get one more before I hung her up, but it's the Gulp bait again, and as I mentioned earlier, I don't think it was on camera, but we were talking about this rattling bobber, a Mr. Crappie bobber. It's got little beads in it, like BBs. It rattles, and this is put out by the Betts Tackle Company. Anyway, I really like this. It not only gives you a little bit of noise and appeal, which seems to work a lot of times for both bluegill and crappie, but also it gives you a little added weight for casting. Here again, it was the gulp bait that come through for me today. I didn't bring any worms, but this one's about had. I'm going to peel it off, just toss it in. Little tiny jig head like I was using before, so anyway.
Well, you also got a bass, was it on that one?
No, I had a bass. It was on a stick bait earlier, like a, well, it was similar to a Senko. It was a natural forage limit stick, they called it. I got it in part way and it made one jump. I didn't have a good hook set on it, but that's another story. But anyway, I caught a few bluegills a day and didn't land any bass, but I had a great time as usual.
I'll be doggone. Got it. Well, you talk about a weird one. I just caught, if I'm not mistaken, now here's a weird one. Here's my tube. He threw my tube, got caught into the stick, and I caught him with another one of my hooks that I had broken off in one, because there is an X-Gap X-Point hook. Decent fish, and that's unbelievable. Okay, I got to tell you, this is unbelievable. You know, I was just talking about it. What happened? Well, what happened wasn't what I thought happened. That makes sense. What I did is I did catch this fish on this tube right here. You can see it. And there's my hook. Somehow he wrapped around on that stick, made it look like it was a broken line. It looked like this tube was hooked onto there, pulling another line. No, it wasn't. He was completely out of that thing. Had this wrapped around about this far up, maybe further, probably up here, because this is bad line now. And I had him down here. So I did catch him on the tube, and it was this tube. And that's weird. But anyway, got the fish. Well, Don, you getting ready to go?
Yeah, I didn't do as good as I expected, but I caught 3 good bluegills, and you know, it's been a fun day. Every time we get out, it's just another great outdoor experience.
And as you folks could see, it was tough fishing, and I tried to tell you a little bit about what I do with tough fishing. I had a few goofy things. Don got some that unfortunately we did not get on camera. We have had battery problems, we've had wind problems, we've had, well, television and video is the same thing. You have problems.
But we made the best of it.
We made the best of it. We've even had, like I said, very tough fishing. And but we caught some fish. You got to see some. Hopefully you picked up a few tips from both of us. And Don was going away, of course, with his bluegills, which you see. And we got Pepper over there strolling around looking to get into everything. So we got dog problems too. So anyway, Don, it was great having you with us.
Well, it's always fun as always, and there's always a next time. Always looking ahead for the next trip.
Definitely so, and here comes Pepper right down here. So until next time, get out in the water and have a great day of fishing.